Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Laurel Manor for today's State of the City program, featuring Livonia Mayor Maureen Brosnan. I'm Dan West, the President of Livonia Chamber of Commerce. It's great to see everyone here this afternoon. We have a wonderful collection of people here today for this sold-out event. We have many Livonians, but we also welcome our friends from neighboring communities as well. Our room is full of volunteers, business people, educators, students, religious leaders, people involved in public service, and others who support a vibrant Livonia. To all of you, we are glad you're with us this afternoon, and we look forward to hearing from the mayor about the things being built in Livonia. At this time, would everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors from the Livonia Police Department Honor Guard, featuring Sergeant Stacy Hain, Officer Mark Marcelletta, Officer Nicole Baggis, Officer Brandon Marker, and Officer Ben Jang.
Present arms. Order arms. Left face. Forward march.
Please remain standing, and actually the next couple times I come back here, I'll ask you to remain standing. We welcome 3 members of the Livonia Youth Commission who are all Livonia High School students, Bex DeMarco, Ovia Jansikar, and Victor Porter, who will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Please acknowledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which I stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bex, Ovia, and Victor. Please remain standing. I would like to take the opportunity of this special gathering to honor the memory of 3 longtime leaders from our community who built great things in Livonia. In recent months, we mourn the passing of Sister Rosemarie Kujawa, the President Emerita of Madonna University, who gave 6 decades of her life to that institution. Dr. Conway Jeffress, the immediate past president of Schoolcraft College, who gave 4 decades of his career to that institution. And Ed Brown, the second-generation owner of Livonia's Bill Brown Ford, a generous corporate citizen in our community for many decades. Let's take a moment of silence to recall their lasting contributions and legacies with this moment of silence. Thank you. And please remain standing for the invocation, which will be offered today by Father Jim King from the Basilica of St. Mary's Antiochian Orthodox Church in Livonia.
Good afternoon. It's wonderful to be with you. Let us pray. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we ask your blessing upon all those gathered here this afternoon for our State of the City address, especially for our Mayor, Maureen Brosnan, and for our community leaders who have been entrusted to serve the members of our blessed city, and for all our citizens. Strengthen and sustain our city, preserve and protect us, direct and guide us, and send your rich blessings upon us and upon all the citizens of our city, and grant us peace and prosperity. Fill us today with a sense of renewal, with a sense of unity, with a sense of charity, and with a sense of love towards our neighbors. Through your grace and love for mankind, always, now and ever, and unto ages of ages. Amen.
Thank you, Father Jim. You may be seated. Well, as you well know, when you put on programs of this magnitude, you need sponsorship support. We're definitely grateful for our community partners who generously supported today's State of the City program. Many thanks to our presenting sponsors, Trinity Health Livonia, Schoolcraft College, Bill Brown Ford, Consumers Energy, NYX, Alpha USA, and Masco Corporation. Please thank our presenting sponsors. This afternoon's program concludes with a great networking opportunity. After the mayor's presentation, we're going to open up those doors back there. A bartender will magically appear. And then additionally, we'll have several displays of city departments and staff will be available to answer questions to follow up on the mayor's message today. So it'll be a great chance to meet and learn more about what we learned today in today's presentation. But I hope you get a chance to take advantage of some post-address conversations this afternoon. And our mixer today is sponsored by Embassy Title Agency, Corwell Health, formerly Beaumont, LaFontaine Imports of Livonia, and the law firm of Fosson Bond. Please thank our mixer sponsors. I'm sure many of you are excited about the new season we are celebrating this month, road construction season. The amount of orange barrels is on the way is rising, and the patience among motorists is sinking. There are also challenges for those working on the roads. 2 construction workers were working on a street one day when the first worker turns to the second and says, "I don't want to work anymore. I'm going to act crazy so the manager sends me home early." He then proceeds to tie himself up by his feet and swing around upside down, shouting, "I'm a light bulb, I'm a light bulb." So sure enough, Livonia DPW Director Don Rohref tells him to go home. The second worker, seeing the success his friend had, decided to start packing his things up. But Director Rohref said, "What do you think you're going? The work isn't finished yet." To which the second worker responded, "How am I supposed to see without my light bulb?" I'm not Dave Chappelle, I'm sorry. I would like to make you aware of some upcoming Livonia Chamber events. First, on April 27th, we have 4 local entrepreneurs who will share their stories of determination and passion during a panel discussion moderated by WWJ Radio business reporter Murray Feldman. This breakfast program will take place Thursday, April 27th at the Schoolcraft College Vista Tech Center. This year, Livonia has moved into a new congressional district, so our members will have a chance to meet our new representative in Congress, Rashida Tlaib, at a luncheon on Friday, May 5th at Burton Manor. We are partnering with the Westland Chamber of Commerce to make this event happen. For details on those and all our events coming up this spring, and we've had a pretty good run of events, please visit our website, livonia.org. One more event I'd like to make you aware of. For those of you who are attending the Mackinac Policy Conference later this spring, the Livonia Chamber, WWJ Radio, and the Sterling Heights Chamber of Commerce are partnering to host a free networking event on the island for our friends in Western Wayne County and the Macomb County at Horns Gaslight Grill from 7 to 9 p.m. on Wednesday, May 31st. There are flyers in the hallway by our program directories with details of this event if you are going to the island and you'd like to join us at that event. Over the past year, elected representatives and other key leaders from the city of Livonia, Livonia Public Schools, Clarenceville School District, Schoolcraft College, and the Livonia Chamber of Commerce started meeting periodically to share ideas and resources on common issues that impact our city. We call this group the Livonia Community Leaders Forum. This group split into 3 working committees to brainstorm initiatives for transportation, mental health, and workforce and talent development. These committees meet regularly with the goal of developing public-private partnerships to address those important issues. So far, the Transportation Committee has raised about $100,000 to fund a feasibility study to develop public transportation options as demand increases for those who need to reach our colleges and employers. The Mental Health Committee found resources to provide more counseling services for our schools. And the Workforce and Talent Development Committee is developing a new hands-on event this fall called Touch a Job to introduce middle and high school students to in-demand careers that don't require a four-year degree. This collaboration is among those city institutions, shows what can be done when we are connected, engaged, and focused on common goals for the betterment of our community. This is just the beginning, and we look forward to seeing what else this group can produce in the future. At this time, I'd like to introduce the elected officials who are with us today and other special guests who have joined us. As I introduce your name, please remain standing until all are introduced. And audience, I ask that you withhold your applause until all are introduced. First, from the Livonia City Council, we have Council President Jim Jolly, and then Council members Scott Barr, Rob Jonai Donovic, Brandon McCullough, Kathleen McIntyre, Scott Morgan. We have City Clerk Susan Nash. We have City Treasurer Linda Scheel. We also have former Livonia City Council members Brian Meekin and Brandon Kritzman. From the Livonia Public Schools, we have Superintendent Andrea Oquist and school board members Colleen Burton, Karen Bradford, Liz Jarvis, Madeline Acosta, and Mark Johnson. From the Clarenceville School District, we have Superintendent Paul Shepik and school board member Dennis Myers. From Schoolcraft College, we have School President Dr. Glenn Cerny, Schoolcraft Board Member Brett Garrick, and Carol Strom. From Madonna University, we have Sister Nancy Marie Jamroz, who is the co-director for the Center for Catholic Studies and Interfaith Dialogue. From Wayne County, we have Wayne County Commissioners Terry Marecki and Glenn Anderson. And visiting us from the city of Westland, we have their new mayor, Michael Landau. Did I miss anybody? I hope not. Let's acknowledge our elected officials here today. The news has been dominated lately by stories of artificial intelligence and apps like ChatGPT. It's also grabbing the attention of people here in our community. Here's a video to show you how AI is impacting the people working at Livonia City Hall.
Can't wait for it. Sorry, gotta call you back. Bye. Yes, new record.
my cue? Don't I get to work with some fun people? Aren't they awesome in their multi-roles here? Actors, actresses, all alike. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for being here today. You know, this is my favorite part of the year. It is my favorite event of all. This is our chance to tell the Livonia story, and I really do love telling it to you. So buckle up, because we've got some really good news to share, and as usual, we're going to share it in some pretty rapid-fire fashion. So we start, though, with a clicker. When you run on stage like that, you forget. All righty, let's go. First, we got to start with some thank yous, because my mom always told me that you got to make sure to thank the people who help you to get here. So today we want to make sure to recognize the work of the Livonia Chamber of Commerce for putting this event together. Every year it is amazingly successful because of their efforts. To Laurel Manor, who's our host for today. Father Jim, great invocation. Thank you so much. It was truly beautiful. To our young leaders in Livonia, our Livonia Youth Commission, who joined together with our Livonia Police Department and our Honor Guard in bringing us together for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank all of you. My mom and dad couldn't be here today, but I always want to thank them because they are the people most responsible for instilling in me the belief that anything is possible if you work hard enough for it. My daughter Ellie is here today. Ellie, thank you so much. Along with you and your brother and sister, you are why I do this job. You are the people that I most want to build the future of Livonia around and for. To Greg's youngest son, Joshua. This is Joshua's first State of the City address, and he actually came willingly at 16 years old. Woohoo! And then to Greg, my fiance, who in 60 days, this was the day you forgot, 60 days from today, he's agreed to marry me, and at this point, he is truly questioning his sanity. But most of all, thank you to all of you for being here as part of this sold-out crowd. That is truly amazing. Please, a big hand for all the work that went into this. So I stand before you today to say that the state of the city of Livonia is strong. We have come through a lot in the past 3 years. And thanks to some really smart, really bold Livonia-built initiatives, Livonia is ready to make the transformational changes that are going to be needed to keep our city moving forward. So what does that mean, that Livonia built? You're seeing it as a tagline here today. Livonia built is our way of describing solutions that are innovative. And at times they're groundbreaking. Most of all, they're collaborative, but they are unique, ultimately unique, in bringing a solution that meets our community's specific needs. We say it's Livonia built when we want to describe how we come together with businesses, with nonprofits, with other elected leaders across our city and around our region to create unique and Livonia-based solutions to the challenges that we face. So today is really a celebration of just some of the Livonia-built initiatives that are truly transformational in terms of their impact. And Dan, I want to recognize some of the ones that you mentioned in your introduction. Clearly, those are Livonia-built initiatives as well, public-private partnerships coming together with the city really being engaged. Today is also a really good opportunity to look at future challenges that are going to require our Livonia-built solutions. So let's first, though, start by recognizing the leadership that is delivered on these successes. And to know your community needs means that you need to be good listeners. You've got to be a good leader. And that is the primary job of our Livonia City Council. So if the 7 representatives of Livonia City Council would please stand. I know you've already been recognized once, but I personally want to make sure to thank you for the opportunity that we've had over the past year to work together in bringing so much of what we're going to talk about today forward. Especially want to recognize Kathleen McIntyre and Scott Barr. This is the last year of their 8-year service to the city of Livonia. Thank you both so very much, and all of you. And there is no better group that responds to the needs of our community than our talented department heads. Along with our city clerk, Susan Nash, and our city treasurer, Linda Scheel, they all come together, and they are the team that I get to work with every single day. And really, you just saw a small piece of what they are capable of. They are really amazing. If our department heads would all please stand, along with our city clerk and our treasurer, and be recognized. Thank you all so much. So when we talk about Livonia-built ideas, there is no greater Livonia-built success that we've achieved in the last few years than what we've accomplished with our first responder staffing. Since taking office, my #1 priority has been to keep Livonia safe. You've often heard me refer to this as my #1 big rock. Well, moving that rock forward meant that we were going to have to get back to a fully staffed police and fire department. And I can confidently stand here before you today and tell you that that rock has been moved. We are now fully staffed in both our police and our fire departments. So let's start with the story of the police department. And I love data because it is what drives our success here. And this is by far one of my favorite data points of the year. So just a few years ago, we faced a shortage of more than 30 police officers in our city. And last year alone, we hired 19 new police officers. We have erased the deficit that we faced. And now, to become a community that is adequately staffed, we are one of the few cities in our region that can make that claim. And that deserves a round of applause, folks. So how did we do it? We did it with a Livonia-based solution, and it was really a solution that attacked the problem from 3 different sides. Together with the City Council, we adopted a defined benefit program that told our officers and our firefighters that we'd invest in their futures if they'd put their lives on the line for us every single day. Secondly, we worked with management to move to 12-hour shifts, which meant that went a long way to recruiting younger talent. And then the third thing we did is we worked with our unions to adopt a lateral move program that allowed us to bring in talent faster. Here's a photo of the 17 of our newest hires. This was from a recent roll call, so they just kind of all stood up there for us. But these are some of the most exceptionally well-trained officers out there in the field protecting us every single day. And then, because that wasn't enough, we set ourselves up in the city of Livonia for future success. We hired 24 new police service aides over the last 2 years. This pipeline is a great example of a Livonia-built solution that many other communities are working and scrambling really hard to emulate right now. It's the key to assuring that we have a steady flow of well-trained officers coming through our department. We've also seen great success at Livonia Fire and Rescue. They've added 7 new members to the force last year. And they're also doing the work of building a talent pipeline for the future with their paramedic cadet program. The first hire from that new program is here today. Elizabeth Hogan, if you would please stand. There she is. Fantastic. And this hiring success in the Livonia Fire Department is translated immediately into results that have been felt by our community. Results that you all saw just last month. You probably remember those snow and ice storms we got hit with at tremendous force that produced super slick roads, that had unprecedented number of downed power lines and falling branches all over the place. Well, as a result of that disaster, our Livonia Fire and Rescue responded to 300 more runs in February of 2023 than they did in February of 2022. That is an incredible number of runs that have been increased. And we were ready. That was the important thing. It's this type of responsiveness that can only be had, can only be made possible if we are fully staffed. So by prioritizing first responder staffing, we delivered on our #1 promise to keep Livonia safe. And I want to recognize all of those who worked with me to address these personnel challenges. To our police chief, Tom Goralski, to to our fire chief, Bob Jennison, to our union leadership, and our city council. If you would all please stand, this was a big deal. Thank you all very, very much. So you're going to get a chance to connect with all of the groups that we're going to introduce you today after the speech is over back in the reception area. All of them have booths set up, and we invite you to go and touch base, especially with police and fire, if you happen to know of a potential candidate that we'd like to hire or recruit one day. So this administration has established the Livonia Built program, another Livonia Built program under the direction of our Emergency Management, Emergency Preparedness Director, Brian Kahn. And it's established us as a regional leader in the area of emergency preparedness. And this is especially important in face of the mass shooting threats that are sadly all too familiar to us in Michigan. With our training program, we've engaged our local businesses, our schools, our nonprofits, and they've all attended training sessions in our own Livonia City Hall because we are committed to being a resource for our region. And that's because we understand something that is fundamental to safety, that if we are able to outfit our community partners with best practices in emergency preparedness, that when the time comes to keep Livonia safe, we will be able to keep Livonia safer. So what that means is that as a city, we are thinking bigger. We are preparing on a larger scale. We are building a better safety net for our residents. And it's a great example of a Livonia Built response because we believe that being prepared starts in our own city. We did this training session back in the fall where the entire City Hall was closed down for a day. All of our city employees had been previously trained in active aggressor response, and we put ourselves to the test. And we did a first of its kind drill in the city that day. Not only was this a great test for our employees and our first responders, it was a super useful exercise for our community as a whole. Our partners like Trinity Health Livonia, Livonia Public Schools, neighboring emergency response teams, we all got a chance to evaluate our practices and to figure out where there maybe were some places in need of improvement. All of it designed to keep our community safer. So we're going to switch gears here. We now talked about safe communities. We're now going to talk about that second big rock that I've told you that we really need to move in Livonia, and that is making sure that we have great roads. So last year, with overwhelming support, we renewed the city's road millage. Now, that's a Livonia-built idea that has really withstood the test of time, because this is the third time now that Livonia residents have had a chance to approve a 10-year millage. And each time it passes with more support. And this year was no different. The millage passed with 80% of voters saying yes to improving their roads. In fact, the number of yes votes in this millage was the highest that it's been in the city's history. So we are excited to continue to put these dollars to work to move that second big rock in fixing our roads. And as a result, this spring and this summer, you're going to see more than 50 projects break ground. Okay, so we're really going to deliver on this promise. And there's one person in particular, we call him the Energizer Buddy of roads, Todd Zielinczyk. Todd, if you would please stand. Todd is our city engineer, and between his team, our DPW crews, and some of the most fantastic contractors you will ever meet, they're practically an extension of our City Hall staff, this is how we're going to get the job done. Todd, thank you very much for the work that you do. Now, you can learn a lot more about the road projects and the ones that are going to be impacting your neighborhood today at the reception, but the one most important thing that I want you to walk away with is an understanding, again, a data point. We are going to spend $3 million just from that millage alone investing in managing our roads and our sidewalks and caring for our right-of-way trees. Now, that is a lot of money that's going back into neighborhoods. And here's what we're really excited about, is that alongside that $3 million, we've created what I call like jet fuel, because we're working right alongside Wayne County in making sure that where we're improving streets at, they're helping to improve roads at. And as a result, in 2022, Wayne County set a record for road construction, both countywide and here in Livonia. So when we talk about arm wrestling for our fair share of road dollars, we have arm wrestled and won. So I want to thank especially our Wayne County Commissioner, Terry Marecki, who is really one of our truest champions for making sure that we get those road dollars. Terry, would you please stand? Where are you? There you are. Thank you. So we saw the counties work on major projects on some of our busiest streets, major projects like Merriman Road, Middlebout Road, Farmington Road, and there's a lot more to come in 2023. So, you know, as Dan alluded to, there are going to be a lot more orange barrels, and I happen to think that's a really good thing. I do ask you all to be really patient, and as you go slowly through those construction zone areas, know that good things are on the way. So, of course, though, roads are not the only thing that we're building in Livonia. Last year, we put 18 new roofs on senior condos at Silver Village. And this was really fun to watch because we have these major crews putting up these roofs, and then we have another crew down below of senior citizens who live in those condos monitoring every single move. We also put a new roof on one of our apartment buildings at McNamara Towers. So protecting our investment in senior housing is a priority for this administration, and we really are looking forward to more improvements and an expansion of our senior housing as we go forward. And we're building more Livonia playgrounds than ever before, and this is such a cool thing. If you haven't already snuck into the Ben Chelani play area, I hope that you're able to join us when we officially do cut the ribbon on it, but it is one of Livonia's best examples of Livonia Built, because it is truly a collaborative effort between the Chelani Foundation, Livonia Parks and Recreation, Wayne County, and Healthy Livonia. All of these groups have come together to put the resources, the financial resources together to build one of Michigan's most accessible playgrounds. There are not many of these playgrounds like this in the country right now, let alone in Michigan. These are playgrounds that are designed for children, they're designed for people with disabilities, and they're designed for grandparents who want to play alongside their grandchildren. So this is really, really an incredible opportunity for our families here in Livonia. We're going to officially cut the ribbon on May the 6th, so we invite you to join us at that time. But in the meantime, know that this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of our investment in our parks. There are two other examples of our commitment to continued investment in one of the largest park systems in Michigan. I say that time and time again, and I hope people believe me, and I hope they repeat it, because it's true. The largest park system in the state of Michigan exists here in our city, and it is truly something to be proud of. Our two new parks, though, are going to be a new playground at Country Homes, and there's going to be a new pavilion at Clement Circle. And there is one there. So anyway, one of the ways that we are showing off our parks comes with another phenomenal Livonia-built idea. It's called Tour de Livonia. And Tour de Livonia was designed to showcase our park amenities for our residents and our non-residents alike. It was a chance to bike through our city on this perfect fall day. And it really was perfect. The Livonia-built idea, again, comes to us from one of our business partners. And again, that's that point of collaboration. Alpha USA, I know you're in the room. V, I think I saw you earlier. If you would please stand. There we are. Oh, there we are. All right. Thank you all so much. So last year was the inaugural ride, and we're excited again for this year's ride. So plan on joining me and over 300 people, because we had 300 last year. I know there's going to be more this year. And take a tour of Livonia. Take a tour through our parks. And I promise you, everything about, you think that you might know everything about the city's beauty? you ain't seen nothing yet. There were parts of our community we were riding through that I hadn't even walked through before. So plan on joining us for a really fun day. So like a lot of you, and I know there are a lot of you in the room that really are true believers, we have always believed in the great potential at Greenmead. That's our historical park. And we are super proud of the fact that this year we completed a new master plan for Greenmead. This is a major accomplishment in establishing that target, that plan for where we want this park to head in the future. And the plan was built with a lot of community input, and that is its true beauty, is that this isn't a plan that gets handed down to us by administrators. This is a plan that gets built from the bottom up by our residents. And so this is a plan that takes a look at the activity in the Greenmead Historical Park all year round. And how do we keep that as a thriving key asset throughout all 12 months of the year? There's a chance to learn more about the plan, of course, as you go into the reception once they move that wall back. But in the meantime, here's the main thing that I want you to take away from today, is the tremendous partnership opportunities that are going to be available. As we look at what it's going to take to build out Greenmead so that it reaches the true evolution in the plan that's been established, it is going to take partners. It's going to take corporate partners, it's going to take nonprofit partners, it's going to take legislative partners to make sure that we're able to build that dream out. One such partnership that's already been realized is a partnership with the state of Michigan. We are ever so grateful to Representative Lori Pohutsky for securing $500,000 in trees for the city of Livonia. Now, a portion of that $500,000 is going to be used to do a tree inventory throughout the city, a citywide population study of our trees. Now, you might be yawning right now. Trust me, the tree committee is going, yes! But there's also additional money available, and that additional money is going to go toward planting the orchard that was detailed in the Greenmead Master Plan. This, to me, is proof that what they said in Field of Dreams, if you Livonia build it, it will come. So together we are building these transformational relationships. And I think the Livonia Built partnership that I am proudest of this year, and it is one that you've heard me talk about ever since taking office, is a partnership that revolves around the very specific goal of making Livonia the healthiest city in the United States. At the core of that goal is a fundamental, foundational partnership with Healthy Livonia. Healthy Livonia is a dynamic force that's led by Trinity Health, one of our leading healthcare partners. And Trinity Health Livonia understands that being a healthy city is an economic driver. And as an economic driver, it gives people a reason to want to live and they want to work in your community. It gives them a lifestyle that they can identify with. It tells others that you care about something that they care about. And let's face it, who doesn't care about living longer? Because that's the goal of Healthy Livonia, is to make sure that people come to Livonia to live here longer. So to that end, Healthy Livonia has embarked on a bold initiative to become a Blue Zones city. And if you're not familiar with that term, I bet now that you've heard it, you'll see it pop up. Blue Zones are internationally accredited locations where people are known to live longer, better lives. The Blue Zones project it's designed to show us how Livonia stacks up against some of the world's healthiest communities. So ultimately, this project is going to help us to answer the question of how we go about getting even stronger, how we build an even stronger culture of health in our city. And it's going to help us to figure out how to tell that story so that more people move here to simply be healthier. Now, my contention, of course, has always been that we are probably already there. We have the largest amount of outdoor recreation space in the state. We have access to some of the most fantastic health care with partners like Trinity Health Livonia and Corewell Health. They're just two of the leading healthcare providers who have made investments in our community. We have one of the lowest divorce rates in the nation. We're one of the safest cities to live in. We have one of the largest number of churches per capita. And we're always recognized, pretty routinely recognized anyway, as one of the best places to raise children in. We are taking care of people, mind, body, and spirit already here in Livonia. It's just a matter of making sure that we get the recognition. And there is one project, though, that is coming to Livonia that has already recognized that Livonia is a city with a heart for recreation and sport. And that is the investment that's being made by the Gold Star Football Club. They are putting up a new stadium at Madonna University. And if you haven't heard about this, you're going to want to really pay attention. This is going to be the largest pro soccer stadium in Metro Detroit. Not only designed to supercharge Madonna athletics, but the goal of the project is to build a destination stadium for events, tournaments, and of course, serve as the home of our region's newest soccer team, Gold Star FC. Now, this is a phenomenal investment, one we are super proud of, one we're really exceptionally excited about. The only question that we have remaining, is there any chance we can get Ted Lasso to coach? I am really looking forward to joining Gold Star FC for their first game of the season later this year. And I hope that we see a lot of you there. The way the stadium is designed, the way it's being built, it really does invite us all to be Gold Star FC cheerleaders. And as a result, I hope we see you there in their colors. So there are a lot of other developments that are headed their way into our community that are going to excite you, and we want to kind of run through that list for you. Hopcat's coming, and they're hopping into the former Clada location. The second is the addition of Penske Logistics and DHL. They've recently moved into the Ashley Capital development that we broke ground on just 2 years ago. So listen to this, because if Livonia is not a place to do business and you don't understand that yet, this ought to drive that point home. Less than 2 years ago, we literally put a shovel in the ground, and today the building is complete, it is fully occupied, and 200 new jobs have been created in that site in less than 2 years. That deserves a big round of applause. And you know, it's not just the big developments that are building momentum in our community. We have a vibrant local economy too that is building in Livonia. And making sure that we keep that vibrancy and making sure that we have a ready group of employees to take advantage of the employment opportunities with some of our small businesses and our large businesses alike is the mission of that third rock that I've talked about before, the third big rock. The third big rock is to make sure that there are employment opportunities for our kids. And we are well on our way to doing that with a new Livonia-built program called Pure Potential. This is a program that is being led by Jacob Uhazi with our Economic Development Department. And this program is a resource hub for businesses and job seekers and a whole lot more. It does a lot. It's a place where job seekers of all ages and all backgrounds can find a way to get connected with great resources, with real job opportunities and apprenticeship programs, which is really what's working to build that workforce of the future. It also offers some benefits to our small businesses and connecting them with first-in-class resources that are designed to help them build and grow their businesses. And these are some of the best resources that are being offered in the state right now. And one way that we're helping to make these resources available to our small businesses is through 2 grant programs that we have in place that are super easy, super fast for our small businesses to connect with. The first has a funding stream of $300,000 available for small businesses to help them grow and be resilient in the face of many of the changes and challenges that are part of what we face today in the economy. The second is fueled by $25,000 in investment to help businesses that want to set up apprenticeship programs or internship programs or job training opportunities that are designed to upskill their employees and really build our workforce. The City of Livonia understands the importance of building a skilled workforce and bridging the gap between workers and skills and employers better than anybody, and we have some amazing partners that we have pulled together under this Pure Potential program. If you want to learn more about the program, again, it's going to be in the back of the room when the doors all open up. Stop by and chat with Jacob Uhazi, if he's there. Because most of the time I don't find Jacob in the office. And this is probably the coolest thing about the Pure Potential program. And it's what I love the most. It's the outreach portion of it. We're not waiting for Livonia businesses to come and knock on the door of City Hall to figure out who needs help. Jacob has made it his mission to go out and find businesses that may be able to use the products that we have available in the city. He's touching base with all of those small businesses where we do the routine ribbon cuttings on with the Chamber of Commerce. He's in the strip malls, cruising the strip malls. Maybe not the best choice of words. But he is out there making sure that dollars are connecting with those businesses to make them even stronger and even better. Jacob, if you would please stand, I really do want to recognize your Livonia-built work. There are a lot of other investments that we've made in this city, and perhaps this year, none that I'm as proud of as the $3.3 million investment that we as a city have made in our libraries. This is one of the single largest investments that we've seen made in our libraries in perhaps the last 20 years. And these include very high-profile projects like the new atrium at the Bennett Civic Center Library, building out our study rooms and our new carpet and our upholstery at the Bennett Library and the new roof on the Sandburg Library. This is a historic investment, and it truly reflects this city's commitment to our libraries, to our families, and to our community's future. And as a result of those investments, and as a result of some phenomenal work by the folks that work in the library, we have seen attendance and circulation numbers grow, despite the system's smaller footprint. Now, you may recall, shortly before I took office, the Alfred Noble Library on Plymouth Road was closed due to flooding. The severe water damage, the mold, and then COVID-19 kind of all piled on top of each other and prohibited us from opening that library. The library has remained closed simply because the city doesn't have the resources to restore a building that has been designated functionally obsolete. This administration has engaged in a number of serious conversations about the future of that library with our council, with our Library Commission, Historic Preservation Commission, the Plymouth Road Development Authority, the Old Rosedale Gardens Homeowners Association, among a whole host of others. And we've listened carefully as members of the community have shared their passion for saving that library. And as a result of that, we're going to put our plans to bring a demolition contract to the City Council just on pause for a moment, just a moment. We were expecting to bring the City Council a proposal this month, and we're going to, like I say, hit pause for a minute to take a moment to explore all of the options before proceeding. So in the meantime, we're meeting with developers who claim to be interested in maintaining the current structure. We're doing even more due diligence on the building itself to ensure that we have a full picture of the costs involved in restoration. But make no mistake, there is a real chance that that building is beyond saving. But because the community has prioritized these conversations, we're going to take a beat and we're going to explore the possibility. So, as part of our commitment, though, to the future of our library system, because that is really where the excitement is at, We're going to soon be launching a master planning process. This is something that the council signed off on a while ago, and we're now in the process of launching later this year with a library director that we're going to be hiring soon. I want to take a moment to recognize the 10 years of dedicated service that our library director, Tony Laporte, has brought to our community. Tony, if you would please stand. Tony is going to be retiring in April. There she is. But what I want you all to remember from today is the importance of leaders like Tony, who will be remembered always for embracing and advancing the long-range master planning process. It was Tony who put this master planning process in place. She's not going to get a chance to see it through, and we're going to make sure that we've got somebody that's able to fill her big shoes to take that project on. But Tony, thank you for leaving us that path to follow. So much has been accomplished in this past year, but there is still so much on the horizon. And for that reason, I am really hoping to continue my service as mayor and continue to finish up some of these projects, because there are an awful lot of balls up in the air. And as I tell my staff every single day, there are still some really big planes to land. So let's talk about some of those big planes. Last year, we made some headway in assuring that our children talk about our city that they grew up in as an arms wide open community. And for the first time in our city's history, the pride flag was raised and the LGBT community was honored and recognized. So this year, with the help of the Human Relations Commission, we're again going to be working to expand our pride celebrations through several multiple events in the month of June. But one of the biggest planes that we have left to land, that we yet have to land in our city, is the work that we need to do on moving that fourth big rock, advancing Livonia Vision 21. This is a vision about making sure that Livonia is a city that our children want to come home to, and it is time for us to really move forward fast to make that a reality. So in keeping with the plan that was outlined in Livonia Vision 21, this administration took the bold leadership along with the City Council to better understand the short and the long-term infrastructure and maintenance needs of the buildings that we're responsible for. This was a major step that we took this year. And in the past year, with our partners at Plant Manor Cressa, we've been working to develop an asset management plan for 9 of our city's most visited buildings. Bottom line, here's what we found. We found that the average age of these 9 buildings is 47 years, and they're not holding up well. There are constant leaking roofs and windows. There are regular breakdowns in our HVAC system. The sidewalks are cracking, the floors are crumbling, there are signs of mold, there are poor air handling units in place in many of the areas where people are working on a daily basis. We have buildings that have come to the end of their useful life, and they are growing more and more inefficient, and they're simply not living up to the standards that we should have for our employees and for our residents. So the Plant Manor Cressa report talked a lot about the status, where things resided, and it tried to help us to get our arms around what the cost of managing those structures truly is. And probably what was most ominous about the report is that it didn't report on extravagant things. It only reported on the very necessary, most critical of the needs of our buildings. And even with that very narrow focus, the anticipated need is $97 million over the next 10 years to maintain the buildings we have in the current state that they're in, the current condition that they're in. That's $9.7 million a year for the next decade. Now, what we face is not uncommon. There are a lot of municipalities out there with aging infrastructures. But what makes this a Livonia-built solution is that we're not ignoring the problem. We are one of the first municipalities in the state, one of a few municipalities in the nation that has engaged in such a broad-scale analysis of its structures. Now, make no mistake, what we've done here is brave. It will take strong leadership to find a Livonia-built solution that works for our city. But this is a group of leaders in your community, your administration, your council alike, who simply are refusing to kick this can down the road. Because once you know what you know, you can't unknow it. And the realities of these infrastructure, where it resides, really needs to be underscored, that there is a solution for all of this. I know it sounds dire, but there was a lot of wisdom that was built into the Livonia Vision 21 plan. There was wisdom built in with an assumption that we had buildings that were in this condition. There was an assumption that we might get results like this once we conducted a needs analysis survey. So Livonia Vision 21, when that was launched, it really was groundbreaking in that regard. Our challenge now is to follow the plan that has been outlined in Livonia Vision 21 and to figure out where those public-private partnerships reside that are going to provide us with the financial means necessary to take that critical next step in reinventing and re-envisioning that 5 Mile and Farmington corner. So that re-envisioning that 5 Mile and Farmington corner has been done. It's been done by our residents who have said they want us to build a downtown there. So let's take a step back and kind of walk you through how we got where we are. Livonia Vision 21 was developed in 2018, built by Livonia residents. A plan that the community said, let's make it happen. Council bravely adopts it in 2020. And then they even go on in 2021 and they put the master plan in place that rezones the entire city so that we can all march in this direction. Well, a key portion of the plan that we've all agreed to and adopted is leveraging property that the city owns so that we can in fact build that downtown. It calls on us to control our own destiny. It imagines a $200 million public-private partnership at that corner of 5 Mile and Farmington that is going to create a bikeable, walkable area that is going to combine multifamily residential with retail, with medical and community space and gathering spaces. And all of that is designed to come together in that area that now City Campus resides in. So you can't do that all at the same time. You can't make all of that happen by waving a magic wand. So we put a step-by-step process in place. And the first step in the process of Livonia Vision 21 and re-envisioning that 5 Mile and Farmington corner is what we call Project Catalyst. Project Catalyst calls for us to relocate the Livonia Senior Center, attach it to the Kirksey Recreation Center, and clear out the space where the Senior Center is, where the vacated courthouse is, where that small restaurant is, where the small office is on the corner, and clear all of that area out. Well, this project is shovel-ready. It's a design that we are ready to put into place and complete by 2025, if we are successful in securing the $21.5 million needed to rebuild the Senior Wellness Center. And we have got some great partners at every level of government who've supported this project and are continuing to do so because they believe, just like we believe, in our ability to implement a Livonia-built solution. The federal government has already committed $3 million. The City Council has already earmarked $4 million for the project. Our state leaders are currently working on finding $4.5 million in their current budget, and we have petitioned Wayne County for $10 million for this project. So if you know anybody in Wayne County, be nice. Be really, really nice. But really, every time we talk about this, increasingly, the project's groundbreaking is right there. It is in sight, and it can happen. So to those of you in the audience today who are part of that group of elected leaders who are working hard on Livonia's behalf, we thank you. We thank you a great deal. I stand before you today with the backing of our local elected leaders, our business leaders, and our nonprofit community who are champions in seeking this project through to its finish line. We are going to do this. So let's continue moving forward in the spirit of partnership that has driven us in the recent years to get the job done on Livonia-built projects that are going to set us up for success in the future. This is truly, and I mean this is really within our grasp because the state of our city is strong. The state of our city is ready. The state of our city compels us to dream big, to act boldly, and to leave our children a Livonia-built city that they want to come home to. I thank you for coming today, for dreaming big, and for dreaming with us. Thank you all very much.